Today we have with us CA Saran Kumar from Hyderabad. The topic for the today is feature of MS Excel in day-to-day CA practice.
Is features of MS Excel for day-to-day CA practice. I'm going to touch upon these 10 things. We'll try to understand application versus window. What is a small thing we need to understand there? And what is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? We'll try to understand how to extract the file names from the folder. We'll try to understand how to extract the file names from the folder in Excel itself, because many a times our invoices are getting stored in different PDF files, and all those invoice names I need to get.
I
How
think
to extract all the files from different folders. Friends, whatever the case studies I'm going to cover today, with all, these are all like compiled from all the questions which I got from the last 1 month or 2 months from different chartered accountants. Generally, my presentation is always in such a way. I don't have a very traditional presentation of having so many slides. Generally, I do compile all the questions, whatever the questions chartered accountants are asking me. Then I'll try to make a case study on that. Then I present it into the next coming session. So these are all recently in one or other case, probably they might have asked me, or maybe a chartered accountant was finding a challenge. Probably I might have given a solution and so on. So, and also let me tell you, in today's session, I'll not touch more formulas, because without even touching the formulas, many things we can do in Excel in much more efficient way. So, though we are going to write a couple of formulas, but my target for today's session is 25% writing the formula, 75% by clicking buttons. How can we do a lot of wonders in Excel? Because formulas are something which you cannot learn just over the night, or maybe within 1 hour or 2 hours, because for which you need to have a strong basics knowledge. So we'll try to understand the beauty part of the name box. In case of big formulas, how to use the custom list in MS Excel. These days, it's very common to fill the form in the Google. We call it as a Google form, and we give. I'm sure many chartered accountant forms even follow the same. They create a form and they give the same thing to the staff, and they need to enter the details, because these days, especially in the COVID time, all are working from home. It's very difficult for us to track the work what our staff are doing. So in fact, I do follow for a couple of clients. When they want to send some information, I ask them to just put it to the Google form, and I'll get the information into my Google spreadsheet. But here I'm going to cover one small topic: how to get the Google form data directly into your Excel. Okay, so how to use the consolidate feature in the reconciliation. Reconciliation is very common, be it 26 AS reconciliation versus your books, or else your books versus 2A reconciliation, or bank versus your books reconciliation. Whatever the case it is, I'm going to cover what is a methodology we need to follow in case of reconciliations. There is a beautiful artificial intelligence feature inbuilt in 2013 Excel onwards, that is a flash fill. We are going to see a couple of case studies on the flash fill. Then finally, we may touch upon the protection, then we'll go into the question and answer. If time permits, I may take a couple of other case studies also. So generally, my PPT may not have so many slides. Generally, it have only 2 slides. One is the welcome slide, the other one is thank you slide. In between, everything is Excel. Without taking much time, let me jump into the Excel. Topic
voice is
is
not clear.
application, the window, what is the sheet. Now when I go to the start, or else, as of now, no Excel is opened here. That means Excel application is not loaded. When I just go to the start and type Excel, when I'm trying to open this, now it is loading my application. Once it loads the application, all the apps will get loaded. Now, when generally we have an habit of closing the Excel here by clicking the X symbol. Now, once let me close this. What is the meaning of it? That means I closed the entire application. If you need to open the Excel, again, you need to load the application back. Okay. Now I have opened this Excel. Now, instead of using the shortcut for the closing, you can use so many shortcuts. Generally, we prefer to use Alt plus F4, or else you can use Control plus F4 and so on. This is to close the application. But we can even use one more shortcut, Control plus W. This is to close the window. Now let me use a shortcut of Control plus W. So it's asking me to save this. Don't save. I just closed. Now at the back end, are you finding a gray color area? That means my application is still there. Next time when I open a file, it will not load too many times and it will not load all the apps because already my application is there at the back end. Now let me take a small Excel file here. Let me keep it a name as a sample one. Let me open this file. Since my application is already opened, it will not take much time to open sample one. It will not load everything because already application is there at the back end. Okay. And one more advantage of opening the application every time at the back end, one is you can save the time. The second one is, let me go into the text files here. 1 second. Yeah. Let me go into a text file of order dimension. There is one text file. This is a comma separated value. Let me copy this file. Now let me go to my Excel. When you paste the text data into your Excel, in fact, we all know it in bank audit, we get all the text files. In the bank audit, 80% of the time we spend on just converting the text files into the Excel files. I've just selected this column and we can go into the data tab. In fact, here my focus is not on explain you the text column, but my focus is to tell you the advantage of opening the application at the back end. Now let me go to the text to column. Since it's a delimited, let me click next. The delimitation is comma. Let me select the comma. Let me click finish. This is what my data I just converted, right? Now let me insert the one more sheet. Now if I take one more Excel file, sorry, text file. Now let me open this product file. This is also a comma separated value, right? Now let me select this entire data. To select the entire data, we have a shortcut Control plus A. Let me do Control plus C. Copy this data. Let me do Control V. Can anyone tell what you observed here? Now I am not doing text to column again. Why? Because you have already opened the application. At the back end, whatever the text to column methodology you adapted earlier, Excel is storing in the cache memory at the back end. Next time when you find the same application, same type of file, it is automatically doing text to column for you. Now, let me go to the next file, Control A. Now let me go here, Control V. My job is done. I hope you understood this small trick, very important. So when we do the text to column or fixed weight, it automatically does because Excel remembers at the back end. Sharon, is it only when I open the Excel? Maybe if I save and close this Excel file, now let me close this. Now let me close this Excel application also. Now let me open one more Excel file. I'm just going to the start and let me open. Now if I open this file, now let me copy this data, Control C. Let me paste here, Control V. See, now we did not taken the delimitation automatically because last time when I opened the application, in the application memory it has stored. Now what I'll do, I'll quickly do the text to column, same by using the space. Let me finish. Now, I'm sorry, let me do text to column using the comma. Now finish. This is what my data is. Now let me close this without saving. Backend, my application is still opened. Now let me open one more Excel file. What is the shortcut? Control plus N. Now when I go back and open any of the text file, Control C, Control V, it did everything. But this is a new Excel file. Excel must not give me the text to column automatically. You are correct. But as I told you, when you open the application at the back end, whatever you have done with respect to the text to column, it has stored at the back end. So this trick is very important, especially when you're trying to deal with so many text files every day where text to column is required, where the text to column may be a delimiter, that may be space or comma or something. If that is the case, my request, don't close the application, but close just the window. To close the window, what is the shortcut I have given? It is Control plus W. That is one of the advantages of opening the application at the back end. We have seen two advantages. One is it saves the time next time when you're trying to open the Excel file. Now it will open very quickly. But when you open the application, it takes a lot of time. The second advantage, when you do the text column, it remembers at the back end. Let me close it. Now I'll write all the shortcuts which I'll be using in today's session, so that these are all files I'm going to send across to you. Control plus W is to close the workbook window. Whereas Alt plus F4 is close the application, Excel application. Okay. Now let me save this file as master shortcuts. Let me go to the, yeah. Now let me go to the next case study. I'm sorry. Let me go to the PDF. I forgot. Yeah, I closed actually. Let's go into the next one. I want to extract the file names from the folder. Friends, this example why I'm giving, because very recently I got a call from one chartered accountant. I think he's working in a company or maybe as a consultant. He said, Sharan, we have invoices in one folder. All are PDF files. It was around a bunch of 1,200 or 1,300 invoices are there. That ERP, when it is downloading an invoice in the PDF format, PDF name, it is keeping as an invoice name. Many times even we do the same. When we are trying to save the PDF with respect to invoice, we keep the PDF name as an invoice name. Especially in that particular case, in that ERP, PDF name is nothing but an invoice name. If you want to get all the invoices list in one place, so he need to get, either he can open every file or maybe he need to copy the file name. He asked me this question. Then I have given him a simple solution in the Excel itself. Please concentrate. Now, let me take this file. I'm just trying to give this file as extract file names. There's a sheet name I've taken. I'm going to introduce you one hidden magic of Excel. You know, I'm sure you all might be hearing the word VBA. It is Visual Basic Application. Visual Basic for applications. We write this code in the Visual Basic editor. Do you know when this introduced? In 1994 year, they introduced VBE, Visual Basic Editor, where you can write the code. I can simply go to developer. This is the Visual Basic Editor. Let it open. This is the window of the Visual Basic Editor. Before 1994, whether there was any macro? Yes. Before 1994, there used to be a concept of XLM. They used to call the files as XLM. XLM is a macros. But it's not like going into a VBA and writing the program, because VBA introduced in 1994. Before 1994, they used to write the coding in Excel sheet itself. Every time when we are trying to insert the Excel file, what we do? Excel sheet, we'll right click, we'll click insert. We simply take worksheet, we click OK. We don't even observe what are these things. If you look here, MS Excel 4.0 macro, let me click OK. This is what the sheet identified for writing a code. Though it is before 1994, still Microsoft supports this type of functionality. These all VBA at that point of time used to work based on the functions. What I'm doing now, I'm going to use one important function called files. I'm going to take files function, which was part of XLM, I'll be using now. Now, let me go to the next sheet. And let's say this is the place where I'm going to paste my path of the folder from which I want to extract the file names. I'm sure you all know about, let me go to formulas, define name. Define name is something, for example, 10, 20, 30 is there. I can have a sum of this to add all these values. But friends, when you see the D1 colon D3, this is not self-explanatory. User may not know what is there in the D1, column D3. So that's the reason what we always do. We select this data, we'll go here, we'll write the name of this. That means what this data indicates. If I write sales, let me enter here. When I go here, instead of D1 column D3, I can simply write the sales. This is very much self-explanatory. This concept, we call it as a defined name. I'm going to use the same concept even in today's session. Now let me go to defined name. This is the place where you can create the defined names. My defined name is extract file names, or else get file names. Get names. Get names is okay, or else you can put get file names. You cannot keep a space in the defined name. Now I want to refer this get file names defined name to equal to, you can write a simple function files. Let me select this cell, close bracket. Now you know what will happen. Whenever I paste the path into A1 cell, files function will get executed at the back end. So when I use get file names, all the files in this path will appear. Now let me click OK. If you want to see all the defined names what you have created, you can go to the name manager. Here you are having file get file names. I have used a function files. Now what I'm going to do, I'll simply copy the path. You can just go to the address here, Control C. Let me go back to my Excel. Let me do Control V. When I do Control V, this is a very big path. Now backward slash, because after the folder you always have a backward slash. Now I'm going to put asterisk. Asterisk indicates take everything after this folder, whatever the files which are visible. Asterisk means it can consume any number of characters inside, even it can be nothing also. So let me enter. Now let me zoom a little less so that you can see this entire path properly. Now what is the name of the defined name I have given? Get file names. Now my job is very simple. Get file names. If I enter, what will happen? All the file names in this folder will appear in an array in a horizontal way. So all the file names comes one after other. But I want to get everything one below other. To get everything one below other, I'm going to use a simple function. In fact, transpose is generic word we use to transform something from horizontal to vertical, vertical to horizontal. We have a function in Excel called transpose. Let me use the transpose function, close bracket. So whatever everything appeared in the horizontal, now everything comes into vertical. Check it out. How simple. I got all the file names of the invoices into one Excel sheet. Now, for example, if I change the path here, maybe I want to know how many files are there in the working files. So let me delete everything after the working files. Now let me delete this. Now in the working files folder, all files will come. Check it out. In the working files, these many files are there. Or else I want to know in the application window how many files are there. Now let me copy this, Control C. Now let me go here, paste everything from here till the beginning, Control V, enter. You got only 3 files. Those all are CSV files in this folder. Now if I just put the invoice, let me Control C. Now let me just go here, starting from here, Control V, I'm sorry. From here, I'm sorry. Let me just put everything here, Control V. Control V, I'll get everything. But Saran, if I want to get only PDF files from this folder, what I need to do? It is very simple. Asterisk dot PDF. Only you got PDF. I want only Excel files. No problem. You can just put Excel Sx. All Excel files you got. If you want to get only the text files, sorry, Word documents, DOC, just enter all the documents. Or else I want everything, just remove this, you'll get everything. How simple it is. Is there any great formulas we are writing here? No. It is a very simple function. But you must only understand here a point that when you are trying to use something which is macro related function, you have to save this file as .xlsm. Otherwise, when I'm trying to save this file, you got a pop-up message stating that the following features cannot be saved into macro free. So what I'll be doing, let me save this file in .xlsm. Only in this format macros will be stored. Now let me take this as extract file names is the Excel file name. How simple it is. Let me give you a quick recap of what just now I have done. I went into the files and I created a defined name by using a function which is part of macros. That function name is files function. Then I've taken in one single cell the path from which I want to get all the file names. Every file name I got here. Let me save this file and close this. That is what the extract the file names from a folder. After I have given this, and in fact in one of the recent SIRC session also I have given this technique. Then after a couple of days, one chartered accountant called me. His question is very, in fact, very practical. He said, Sharan, is there any way I can get, including the subfolders along with the file names? I said, by using the files function, it's not possible. But there is a different methodology. But I asked him, why you want that? Because always objective is most important so that we can demonstrate the same to the other members also. Because maybe some other CA or some other professional may have the same problem. Then he said very simple, Sharan, in my office, there is a server. Every day, lot of folders, we fill the data. We keep the file, we delete the file, we rename the file and so on. And I do have article students of almost 15 to 20 people. Some of the cases, instead of saving a file in one folder, they are saving a file into a different folder. It is very difficult for us to go and check it out. And also, even such window takes a lot of time because the data is used. Probably if I have all the files along with the folders, including the path, every day if that file can update, then probably I can put a filter. Today, how many files got created, and these folders, how many folders these all files got created, and what is the duplicate rate, and so on. I can check it out. And also I can even have a control. Maybe if anyone using some of the folder which is not relevant to him, because in our office there are no proper user control methodologies as per. I'm sure you might heard about this word. Power Query is a ETL tool. If it can extract the data from any source, then what it does after extraction, it can transform the data in whatever the way you ask for, in the way we ask for. Then it can load the data back into Excel for analysis. That means if I have a sales data, every month I'm also doing some consulting work. Every month, one of the companies is sending me the sales data in a PDF format, or maybe text format, or maybe XML format. Every day, what my job must be, I need to copy the data, paste into my Excel. I need to do some transformation. That means I need to clean up the columns properly. I need to remove the unnecessary rows and so on. Then I have to apply some analysis on the same. But every month doing the same job, maybe, okay, time consuming. So what we can do, we can use this beautiful feature which is part of your Excel. You can tell to the Excel once, you do the transformation what you are looking for. Next time onwards, you keep the file into the folder from which you have taken initially. Next time you just come to the data and refresh. Everything will happen automatically for you. That's the beauty of Power Query. That's the reason these days Excel is becoming more powerful, not because of the traditional features, because every day it is coming with so many beautiful options. Using this one of the feature I'm covering now, again, as I told you, today I'm not going to keep you so much of programming. Today I'm not going to tell you so much of formulas. Today the entire session mostly will be on clicking couple of buttons so that you can do wonderful job. Now I can simply go to the data tab, go to the get data. But before going into that, let me tell you in which version this Power Query is available. This is available from 2010 version even now. So, but 2010 and 2013 version, this is available as an add-in. You can just simply search for Power Query add-in, that will take you to the Microsoft website where you can download from, I'm sorry, it is 2010 and 2011, 13. From 2016 onwards, this is part of Excel. That means it is inbuilt. If you observe, if I go to the data tab, this is what get and transform data. Are you finding here get data? Just now I told you it can extract the data from any source. Now let me go to the sheet, get the data. It can take from workbook. It can even take from text file. It can even take from XML. It can even take from JSON file, PDF, any folder. It can even connect to the SQL. It can even connect to the Access database. And if anything is there in the Azure, if you can even connect the data from web, even Odbc, that means even tally data, you can get it, and so on. Now in this case, I want to connect a folder. First of all, which folder I want to do? Now let me do in this folder itself. Today's I've created a folder, Control C. Now let me go to get data. I want to get the data from a folder. It is just trying to load. Control V. Now let me click OK. Friends, don't worry. These all files which I'm working on, I'll be sharing to the ma'am, Seema ma'am, after the session. I'm sure I'll make sure that that will reach to you. So these are all working files. I'll save properly so that even after the session, you can just look into the glance what are the steps I have done. So once loaded, it is giving me all the names of the files, one below other. You need not to do anything. Simply you can click transform, or else you can simply click load. Anything is fine. If you click load, this entire data will come and sit into your Excel. Now, but before loading, let me click transform. This is taking me to one more window, Power Query Editor. Even here, you need not to do any rocket science. Simply delete this content because I don't want the content, but I want only the files. Let me delete this. And this is date accessed, including the time. This is date modified, date created. Very important, especially in case of forensic, because this is very elaborate I use. Because when we go for a forensic audit, that fellow says that, Sharon, we have 20 GB, 30 GB of data may not be relevant to you. I always tell them, don't give me the entire data. Just give me the file names, or else you just give me your data for 5 minutes. I don't want to even copy. Then I'll go to the Power Query. I'll get all the file names. Now this is giving a lot of evidence to a chartered accountant. You will get how many files are there inside. You can even do the filters. You can understand how many different extensions are there. You can even find what is the date accessed, what is the date modified, what is the date created. Because many a times when we go for a transaction audit, they say that, sir, this is the records we have not touched since last 1 year. But when you look into the files, the file stamp is saying maybe just 10 days back or 1 week back, before we just reached to their office, they might have did some modification. That means it's a red flag. For me, it's very simple to know what it is. Now, along with that, even I surprised 2 years back when I got to know this feature. Your Excel file or any document created in your Windows is giving the attributes of more than 20. You can even find what is the content, what is the kind, what is the size. Now I want out of these attributes, let me have the size. Let me know the kind. Now let me have a directory if it is there. It's already there, the folder path. Now, yeah, whether it's a compressed file, whether it's a repass point, or whether it's an encrypted file, lot of things are there. I just want the size. I don't want anything. So let me just put OK. Okay, now let me close this data and load back into your Excel. Everything appeared. Just check it out. How many files are there here? 38 files in today's folder, which I'm going to share across to you. All the files, including the subfolders, if you look here, these all are different subfolders. I can simply use a Vlookup function or anything. I can see how this is working and so on, right? So I can have a filters out of which how many are the text files, or how many are the Excel files, how many are the PDF files, and is there any redundancy in the file names? Maybe the same file I might have kept into X folder and probably I might have kept into Y folder and so on. Even I can look into the size. Now what I'll be doing, next time he want to change the folder name, he need not to do anything. Simple. He can go to the data, he can go to queries and connection, and this is what the place where my file is there. Now let me double click this. Are you finding here the source? Just are you finding here the settings icon? Click this. Now just let me copy. Now what I want to do, I want to take my C drive. Sorry, C drive will take a lot of time. Let me try on the D drive. I don't know how many files are there in the D drive. Now let me Control V. Let me Control C, Control V. Okay, it is a simple D drive. Once you click OK, everything loads from this D drive. Now, no problem. Let me refresh this. Oops, 1 second. Yeah, it is set to load. 1 second. Let me take the D drive. I'm just trying to take the D drive data. That's all. Let me take the entire D drive. Let me click OK. Now let me click OK. It's trying to load this. You got everything. Now it does all these transformation steps for you. Then let me just close and load. This data override with the D drive data. Now check it out. How many files are there in my D drive? 686 files are there. But if you look into the files, more of the driver related files these all are. Now what I'm going to do, I'll keep one Excel file. Now how much is the row number? 686, right? Now let me go here, put one file called JB Nagar. Now let me refresh this. Let me refresh. Hey, you got already. Check it out. Where is that? Yeah, JB Nagar. Just now I have created. If you see the time 4:37, I have created and so on. Okay. So I feel very important. Now what I do, if this is the Office server, I'll create a small pivot table on this. Let me insert. Let me click the pivot table. Let me click it. Then I can simply have a date of modified. Then I can have whatever the file name. I can see maybe what is the name of the file, count. I can just right click and I can ungroup this. I want to group properly. So let me group day wise or year wise, then quarter wise, then month wise. Simple. Now let me have this. Now let me go to my design. Let me click the design here. Oops. Let me go to the design. Now let me have this into the tabular format. Okay, so if you remove all the subtotals, don't show the subtotals, along with the days and everything it is showing me. Even if you want, you can have the days also. Okay, so that before leaving every day, if I connect to the server, I can simply go to the data, I'll refresh. Then immediately I'll get today how many files got created and so on. Okay, so I'm sure this may be very much helpful to all of you. Let me save this, and before saving this, let me take only this folder because I don't want to share this data because this is my D drive. Let me double click this. As I told you, if you want to change the source, simple, go to the source, just click this icon of the source. Now you can browse for desktop, and on the desktop, this is the folder. Let me just click OK. Now let me close and load. Now your pivot table also will happen automatically. Let me refresh. If you go to the pivot table, everything is coming from today. If you observe, today I created some of the files. Last month file, some of the files I'm using. 2019 file, one of the file I'm using. The file created in 2017 also I'm using in today's session. How much evidence it is giving for any of the professional who is working in the forensic, I feel this is one of the very beautiful approach to get the control of all the files, especially in the forensic audit, even in our office also. Let me save these files as get files from all folders. Again, let me tell you, I did not use any single formula, in fact, in this entire story. Let me recap very quickly. I went into the data tab. I went into get data. I have selected the folder. After selected the folder, I just click load. Entire data loaded back into my Excel. That's all. Now let me save this file and close. This is what getting all the file names from all the folders. Now let us look into usage of the name box. In fact, today we already covered one small example of how to use the name box. Now let me use one more example of this. I'm sure you will appreciate even this technique, because generally this is the problem even I find with my staff. Let's say there is an expenditure here. Expenditure ledger is having so many internal ledger accounts. And here there is an expenditure schedule with the proper heads. And our staff writes the formula in this way generally. So many items within, check it out. In this case, he has written so many items. Many a times our staff writes like, they never tired. They put this plus this plus this. Sometimes we'll get a fever looking into the formula. Sometimes when we put F2, the entire screen occupied with so many plus symbols. Even we would like to review, but after seeing the formula, we thought, okay, he's my staff, probably might have done correctly only. We'll simply click escape. Because it's very difficult to track when users started keeping so many plus symbols, we cannot even analyze this data even for the review or anything. Now check it out. In this case, it's very difficult. Maybe in this case, because this belongs to the same sheet, you can simply use you can go to the formulas, you can place precedence. It is finding the arrows from where it is coming. Otherwise, if you want, what is the technique we have? Very simple. I'll use control open bracket. It is selecting all the names at the back end. I can simply give this color. But this technique you cannot use. Now I have here. Now here you have so many items. If I do control open bracket, do you think it is going to take me back? No. It is taking me only to the first item. When user is selecting so many items from one database, if I want to select all these items from that database, how to select is my question. I am having a technique for this. What I'll do, I'll simply copy this static, Control C. Let me put a space, Control V. I don't want any equal sign. This becomes a pure text. I'll select this and these two cells. Let me replace. But Saran, why you have selected two cells? Why can't you simply select one cell? In Excel, there is a characteristic that when you select only one cell, by default, Excel understand that you are going to apply the find or replace or whatever it is for the entire Excel worksheet. When you select a selection, then Excel thinks that whatever the functionality you want to apply, that has to be only for that selection. If I just click here and do Control H and replace plus with the comma, even these items also will get replaced. So that's the reason I'm just selecting these two cells, Control H. I want to replace wherever plus symbol is there with comma, so that every plus within this formula will be replaced with comma, replace all. Total 9 places plus symbol is there, it got replaced. Now what I'm going to do with this, very simple, Control C, escape. Now this is the name box I already told you. Let's go here, Control V. Let me enter. If I enter, what will happen? It will exactly take you into the place where these all references are there. Enter. After I click enter, it has selected. Now you can simply go and analyze the data, whether he has taken correctly or wrong. Hey, he went wrong because he has taken even this cell. This is the wrong cell. So, but if you normally look into this formula, is it possible for you to understand? Not possible. It's very difficult because it's having so many items inside. That is the beauty of the defined names. So let me explain to you again what I have done. It's very simple. I just copied this entire text of the formula, I kept a space and I pasted. Let me remove the equal sign, enter. Now select these two cells, Control H, plus please replace with comma, remove. Now I'll simply copy this. I'll just go here. I'll do Control V, enter. It has selected exactly the same area. You can just change whatever the color you want and so on. Okay, I'm sure you all appreciate this technique also, because this is a very common problem we find from our article students when they write the formula. Let me save this file and let me just close this. Let me go to another unexplored feature, probably I can call this custom list. I don't know how many of you used the name called custom list. Now let me just open an Excel file, Control N, or else I can take a file called, is there any, yeah, usage of custom list. Let me open this file. Now I'm just going back here. Okay, so the advantage of the custom list is, now let me talk about a little bit about autofill so that you can understand. Friends, when I write something here 10, 20, when I drag this, Excel do remember that there is a sequence here. It remember the pattern and exactly the same pattern it's going to fill below. If you don't want, of course, you can just click it as a copy cells. But if you click fill series, it's going to fill the series. Even in downward direction also, no problem. Excel do understand the series, linear series of this. Friends, when I take first year, when I take second year, when I drag this, do you think Excel is going to give third year, fourth year? You can answer yourself. Okay, you need not to put anything in the chat box. 100% yes. Excel do understand this language. Excel gives automatically third, fourth, fifth, and so on. When I take, for example, A10, A15, when I drag this, do you think Excel is going to give A20, A30, and so on? Absolutely. Excel do understand, because A is a constant, 10, 15, and so on is the variable which can change. Now, when I put Jan, of course, Excel do understand it's going to fill the January day, month names. When I put January, of course, even Excel do understand this data. When I put maybe Monday, MON, Excel do understand this data. When I put full form of month, Excel even understand, sorry, full form of day name, that's Monday, Excel even understand this language. When I put, for example, ma'am, Seema ma'am, I'm just using your name, okay, don't mind. Let's say I keep Seema. Do you think if I drag it, I'll get all the best friends of Seema ma'am? No, not even the family members, because Excel doesn't know. It is simple name because Excel doesn't know what has to get after the Seema, right? Now let me keep this as it is. Maybe if I can analyze in such a way that, anyway, for the numbers, you need not to tell after 10, 20, even anyone who knows the mathematics can understand that next value is 30. But after Seema, we don't know what is the next name, right? So, but in this case, these all are also text, but Excel has given the names. That means this list might have kept it back in the memory of Excel. Because it is there in the memory, these all are coming automatically. Maybe if I can find where this got stored, if I go over there and store the memory, okay, even other names also, I think it should work. Identify where these all items got stored. Let me go to the File tab. Let me go to Options. Let me go to Advanced. Let me come down. Are you finding your Edit Custom List? Click this. Yeah, I got all the items. In fact, though double times it got repeated, but only 4 items. Are you finding your new list? If you want, Mr. Sharon, you can even create. Now let me take ma'am's name. I'll take JV Nagar. I'll take some other name. Okay, any other name. Let me take my name. Anything. Let me take another name. Varun. Now let me add this 4 list. When this is already got added, now I added this list. If I click OK, let me click OK. Now when I take ma'am's name, when I drag this down, ideally remaining all 3 names has to come automatically. because the same logic how it has applied for us. This is the meaning of the custom list. But okay, where we can use it? Of course, we can use it number of places. Now let's say this is what my staff details. Saran Kumar, Vijay Srinivas, Nagashruti, Maruti Gandhi, Sharanya Devi, Virendra Sehwag, all are my staff members. Excuse me, whoever the fans of Virendra Sehwag. Okay, he's a different person, not a cricketer. Okay, my friend. So let me select this data. What I'll do, I'll go to the file tab. I'll go to, I'm sorry. Let's go to the options. Let's go to advanced. Let me come down. Let me go to edit custom list. Now, but Sharan, am I need to type all these here? Not required. It has already given an option. If you want, you can even import. Now let me select this area. It has already selected, but let me select it again. Let me import. While importing, it is asking a very brilliant question. Mr. Sharan, you have taken a data which is a tabular format. Do you want each row has to be considered one record, or each column has to be considered one record? Let me tell to the Excel, could you please take every row as one record? Because if I put a name of Sharan Kumar, when I drag it, automatically his information has to come. I don't want to go to the master data of my employees or staff. So that's all. Now what happened when I take Saranya Devi? Let me drag this. Wow. Everything remembered at the back end. Now you can even keep all the staff names. Now let me drag this towards the right side. Everything up here. But this is okay, Saran. Is there any other example through which we can understand better? Of course, for you, I made one example ready. This is the tax audit season. In fact, yesterday only I have given one presentation at SARC of ICI at Chennai, virtual. I have given a presentation on tax audit using the tools. There I have given this technique. If you look into your all the classes of 44 in the 3CD, many times, many classes, almost every class, they mentioned about the section numbers. Right? If that is the case, every time for me to remember the section, even a very veteran, very professional person to remember the section numbers is very difficult. Leave about any number like me, I don't even remember anything with respect to the income tax. Very difficult. So what I can do every time when I want to read something or work something, instead of me going into a book of Ready Reckoner or Income Tax Bear Act or Google for a section number, using the same concept, let me select this entire thing. I have taken here the IA-SE1 because why I kept IA? Because it's an income tax. If this works for me, maybe I can take for all my acts and store into the Excel. So when I open the Excel, if I write a section number and if I drag it, I should get the description of the section. Now let's go to the file name. Let's go to options. Do you think it works? Let us see. Let's go to advanced. Let me come down. Let's go to edit custom list. Let me import this. Yeah, let me click import. I want to take every row as a list. It's asking cells without simple text were ignored. That means if any non-printable characters are there, those things will be ignored. It's okay. Let me click OK. Let me even click OK. Now what happened? Let's say I'm seriously working on some section equal to, IA section 10A. I don't know what is 10A. Let me drag this. Let me drag this. Wow. Even you can drag downside. Even you can drag towards left side. If you think even towards up also you can drag. Anything is sorry. Okay. Now let me select this only part. Okay. So it works for right side and downside it works. Now for example, I want to know what is section number. Anything you can take it. Yeah, 80 50D. Let me drag this towards right side. I don't know whether this section is there. Of course it is there. Now let me remove this entire thing. Now let me select this and drag all at a time. Wow. Now if I can keep my IBC sections, maybe CGST, SGST, IGST, Companies Act, everything is handy. I know what the question you may be thinking, but Sharan, if I store the data in the Excel memory, will it be for all the Excel workbooks or only for this Excel workbook? Friends, let me tell you, this we call it as a backstage view. Whatever the changes you do in this, That means you are not doing the changes for the Excel workbook, but you are doing the changes for the application per se. That means, in fact, if I go to account options and do some changes, that means I'm doing the changes for the Excel. Even if I save it, close it, save this file, let me close this file, open a new Excel workbook. Now, even if I take IA-section, I don't know, let me take one section 37, let me drag this, still you'll get it. It's general, the section name is general, is it? I don't know. Maybe. Section 38. Let me drag this. Oops. Let me drag this. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, so this is one of the beautiful feature Excel has given us, the custom list. But let me tell you honestly, Excel has not given this feature for this purpose. Excel thought something else, but we are using for our own purpose. Let me tell you why Excel introduced this feature. Excel introduced this feature for the sorting case. Normally, if I have the data, let's say I have the data of area east, west, south, north. If I take this data and if I sort it, let me take this data, Control C. Now, if I sort this data, what I need to do, let's go to the data, let me click sort. Now, since it's a text, either you can sort A to Z, let me click it. If I sort A to Z, this is the way it appeared, east, north, south, west. Otherwise, if I copy this and paste here, this is A to Z, or else this is Z to A. Now let me sort Z to A. So let me take this data, I'll do S. I want to continue with the current selection. Now it's not having any headers. Now I want to sort E column. Let me take a Z to A. Let me click OK. Obviously, this is the reverse order of this. But we may have sometimes a situation, Sharon, I don't want either A to Z or Z to A. I want my own sequence. You know what sequence I want? I want west, sorry. I want west, I want north, then I want south, then I want east. Is this A to Z? No. Is this Z to A? No. This is neither A to Z nor Z to A. This we call it as a custom. But still this is possible. Let me copy this data, Control C. Let me paste this data, Alt S, continue with the current selection. It went into the sort. Now I can simply go to the G column. Let's say my data is having headers. I want to sort the area. I want to sort the cell values. It's not A to Z, it's not Z to A. Are you finding there is a custom list? Let me click this. Here you can view this list of east, west, whatever the list I'm looking for. What is the list I'm looking for actually? I'm looking for west, north, south, east, right? Now let's go to custom list. I'm looking for west, north, south, east. Let me add this. It got added. Now let me select this and click OK. Now I'm finding here the order came here. Since this order is there, even reverse order also it kept automatically. The reverse order is also there. Now let me select this order and click OK. Exactly this and this both are same. Actually, for this purpose they have given. But we are CAs, we can use anything for our daily purpose. Okay, so this we are using for our own purpose. This is one of the feature I feel very important. Seema ma'am, I think it's 1 hour is over. Can we take some question and answer instead of spending more time at the end? Is it okay?
We will, yeah. We will take question answers in the end.
In the end only everything?
In the end, yeah.
Okay, great. So now let me go into the next one. Google Form data to MS Excel. I'm sure you all know how to create Google Form. These days, every data, in fact, every institute almost creating a Google Form and circulating in the WhatsApp groups and Facebook and everywhere in the social media. People are keying the information and that data is getting stored back into the Google spreadsheet. But accessing the Google spreadsheet may be not relevant every time, may be very difficult. So what is the thing which I'm trying to explain here? Google Form data, I want to directly get into MS Excel. So let me go to a Google form for which I have created Gmail. So let me take a Gmail of, yeah, let me take Gmail of mine. I'm going to take you to the Google form. So let me take my, oops, okay, I think I can go to the Drive. Let me go into my Google Drive. Wait, where is the Google Drive? 1 second. Yeah, this is the Drive. So this is the test data. Friends, it's very simple. You can also create a Google form. You can ask your staff to update the Google form every day for the in time or out time, or maybe they are doing an audit, the information what they observed and so on. I feel Google form may be one of the very beautiful office management software if we customize it for our own purpose. Friends, this data Google form is here. I have already created it. Now let me close this. The entire data is getting stored here. In fact, you all also can access just to test whether it is working or not. You can go into the URL excelism.in.test. So I want this is the Google form I kept in this website. Let me open the exam. It's taking a lot of time. 1 second. Yeah, so let me take the test. You can also open it if it is available to us. You can find a Google form here. Now, what is the advantage of Google form? If I fill the information, let me fill Saran Kumar from Ontario, from the country India. Let me submit this form. Once I click the form, come here. See, just now I updated file to Saran Kumar and Devi India. Let me fill one more information, submit another response. Now I'll just go here. I'll take Nagashriti, my wife's name. I can have Mumbai, and this is India. I can simply click. So you know, immediately the data is. But how beautifully this data comes to my Excel, I'm sure that will be very much useful. So I'll be doing a small methodology here. Are you finding here the share? Friends, you can even connect to the web data to your Excel, right? Now, Google form is nothing but a web. Spreadsheet is also nothing but a web because you are accessing this data. Now, what I'll be doing, I'll just click the share. Now, let me change this to edit. It's already edited. Let me copy this link. Done. That means I have copied the link. I am going into the Excel now. Let me go to the data, get data. Now I want to get, I told you, right? Power Query is a transformation tool. You can get the data from any source. Now let me get the data from the web. Let me do Control V. First, let me do it here. Control V. Now I'm going to do a small change. Wherever edit is there, I will replace the edit as an export. USP, I'm going to replace as a format. Sharing, I'm going to replace as a Sx. Because I was into the Google spreadsheet, it has taken me to the, this is for the edit and to share for the outside users. But I'm just changing it as an export format. I want to get an Sx. Now let me just copy that here, paste, and edit. Let me change it as a format. Sorry, let me put it, sorry, edit as an export. USP, let me change it as a format. Sharing, let me change it as a Sx. Let me Control C. Now let's go to the get data, other sources from web. Let me do Control V. As I told you, you are not going to write any formulas here. It's a very simple thing. You are just going to get the data. That's all. Let me click OK. Now it's going to load this. It is trying to show me how many sheets are there in the Google form. Though there is a second sheet, nothing is there. Now let me have a first sheet from responses sheet. Don't do anything. Simply click load. Now it will create a new Excel sheet. It will load the entire data. Wow. Straight out. Now what I will do, just to test whether it's working or not, I'll just go to the same sheet, same link. Even this is a public link, you can also do it just to cross check whether it is working. Now let me take one more name. I can take as the name of Saranya Devi. I can just put city, New York. I can have USA. Now let me just submit. Once I submit, I'll not go to my Google spreadsheet. Let me go to my Excel. It will not update automatically. Obviously, you need to refresh it. I'm just going into my data. Let me refresh this data. Check it out. Here, you're going to get one more record. Wow. If I can create the user form in such a way, if my staff can fill the data, I can even do whatever the pivot table I want. How much time they spent, or else maybe how many remarks they found for a particular item. Yesterday at SARC, I suggested a small thing. They can create with all the clauses or maybe with respect to the qualifications, and they can keep it into a Google form. And when they are working for different clients, you can give the tally data to them, let them observe the things, let them fill into the data into the Google form with the client name. Then what is the file they are looking for? Sorry, client name, assessment year, then what is the class they are going to give mark, and what is the remarks. Once you get the data into Excel and put a filter for each client, then you will get the information about each client. Even when I go to my bank audit or any audit, for me, my job is simple, because I least bother about going into my Google form, because working here, of course, your Google spreadsheet is also same powerful how your Excel. But since it's more of cloud and we are more of Excel users, to learn the spreadsheet again, I need to spend some time. So I am very much comfortable to get the data if it is available into my Excel directly. Okay. So let me tell you again what I did. I went into the share, and here you have a link. Get the link. You just copy this link. Then in the link, 3 parameters you need to change. At the end, you have a parameter of edit, USP, sharing. When you edit is equal to export, you change. USP place, change it as a format. Sharing, change it as a XLSX. That means I want to export this link into the format of XLSX. So the entire data will get loaded at the backend. You can get entire information into your Excel file. That's all. In fact, for MSME clients, we have an issue because we as a chartered accountant even do, though it's not permitted, but maybe for some of the clients, we do the books of accounts and other things. Okay, I'm not doing, but as an information, I'm just providing, because for those people who only give the consulting, we don't do any audits. But couple of clients, what they do every month, and they come and they give the bank statements, and our people has to understand the transaction in the bank statement. They key in the information into the tally, and at the end, from their end, they come for 1 hour or 2 hours. They'll explain whatever the transactions they did. You know, every month the challenge what we find, though owner is doing the transactions in the bank, but at the month end, when we ask some of the transactions details, the description or the relevance or objective of the transaction, most of the cases he forget, because if any transaction, probably in my bank statement, maybe 300 transactions are there for a month. So remembering all those transactions is very difficult after a month. So what we adopted recently, I adopted this experiment. One client is there who is basically the concrete, ready mix concrete. At least every day they do the bank transactions are 3 to 4. For them, every month end, they need to come and they need to sit with my staff, and explaining is very difficult. So what I told them, I've given a small link like this. I've given a link of what is the name, sorry, name is also not required. I've given a name of bank, whether deposit or withdrawal. If it is a deposit, for what purpose? Let them write even in whatever the language they know. Even Telugu is also fine. Marathi is also fine. Hindi is also fine. Because at least some information we are capturing. They are very happy. So whenever they go to a bank, immediately while signing, they are just going into the Google form which we have created. Then they are simply filling the information that this information we are keeping for this. Some, one of the partner of that fellow, he is not even typing because he is not that fast. He just switching on the speak to text. Then he's just telling to the Excel, the app that we are depositing for this purpose. It is entering. At least at the month end, if I can get this entire information and if I give it to my staff, that time they need to spend on the file is reduced from 5 hours, 6 hours to just half an hour to 45 minutes. Okay, that is the great advantage of using the Google Forms, but always connect, or maybe you can get the information into the Excel. Okay, let me save this file as Google Form. Let me save this file, close it. Now let me close all these items. Okay, so let me go back. Consolidate feature in the reconciliation. This is one of the very common thing we do every day in our day-to-day work. Because reconciliation is something, the name itself is, you need to take balance as per source 1 and you have to arrive balance as per source 2. That can be either a bank reconciliation, or that can be any reconciliation where two data sets are there or where two sources are there. Friends, in this example, I've taken source data as ERP and the source data as a bank. I want to do the reconciliation here. This can be done in different methods by using the formulas. But as I promised, let's not go into the formulas because we can do a lot of magics without even touching the formula. I want to do the reconciliation here. Normally, reconciliation means what happens? We'll take the balance as per source 1. Then we'll add transactions available only in source 2. Then we'll subtract transactions available only in source 1. Then we'll put plus or minus transactions available in both but with the differences. Then we'll total all those 4 components. We'll reach the balance as per source 2. If I'm not wrong, this is the method throughout the world, not only in India, not only in your form or my form. Everywhere reconciliation means the same methodology. How we are going to adapt here? Have a look. Now, before doing this, let me change this title as a ERP. Let me change this title as a bank. Why I changed it, you will get to know. Let's go to the data tab. I'm introducing you a small feature called consolidate. Let me click consolidate. Let me go to the reference and select this entire data, including the headings. Now let me add this data into the memory of Excel. Now let me select this entire data, add into the memory of Excel. Friends, if you observe, I have even taken the headings also into the consideration. In fact, headings plays very vital role. Let me click top row left column as a label. Let me tell you the meaning of what is top row and left column. What Excel is doing now, since I checked the left column, first it will consider the left column of this source and left column of this source, and it will only keep the unique values. Throughout your Excel, wherever the word they have used called labels, that means label means unique value. In the pivot table, we use a word label. In consolidate feature, we use a word label. That means in the left column, unique values it's going to present. Top row unique values also it's going to present. In the top row, how many unique values are there? ERP bank. So wherever this reference number connected to ERP, wherever in this data source, Excel use the sum function for all those amounts. Now if I click OK, I got reference number, I got ERP, I got bank. If I don't take ERP here, bank here, if I keep it as it is as an amount, these two columns will be merged together. That means consolidated together. Excel will give only one column amount. That will have source of ERP, source of bank. I cannot do the reconciliation in such a way. I want 3 columns to be there. So that's the reason I kept ERP and bank. Now let me take the reference here. Let me take the ERP just for the formatting sake. Let me take the bank. Now let me have a difference column. Since I want to start from ERP balance, I want to reach to the bank balance. So let me do bank minus ERP. Enter. Copy and paste till end. Wonderful. Now I want to have a remarks. Now friends, let me select this entire data. Let me use filter because I call this entire methodology as a 4 filter methodology. Even you go to Google, they tell in different ways of writing pivot table, writing formulas, sum if function, Vlookup function, and so on. But this is a different methodology. Anyone can adopt very easily. Now let me click the filter. I will not do anything now except for filter. First filter, you know what I'll be doing? I'll filter for the blanks. in this column of the ERP, right? ERP, let me filter for the blanks. Let me go to the end, select the blanks. Now, what is the remark I need to write? Available in bank only. Now, let me remove the filter. Let's go to the second filter. Again, I want to give for the blanks in this column. Let me select here. Let me select the blanks. Now, I want to write available in ERP only. Now, let me remove this. Now, I want to give the third filter for difference column for zeros. Let me select the zeros. These all are reconciled properly. So reconciled, I will not consider this into my reconciliation. Fourth filter, just put for the blanks. Let me select the blanks. I'm going to write here available, available in both but with differential. Let me remove the filter. Wow. Till now, did I use any formula? No. Very simple. I just changed the ERP. I just changed the bank. I went into the consolidate. I added these two data sources. Then I checked the top row, left column. Then I got the first three columns. Let me put the first three columns into the separate border so that you can understand what exactly it is. So this is the formula I have written, a small formula I have written, and these all are the remarks based on my filters. Okay, now let us look into the reconciliation part. Now I'm going to have the particulars, then let me have the amount. Okay, so let me have the particulars. I'll be having, as I told you, I'm going to start from the balance as per ERP. What is the balance as per ERP? Let me take here. This is the balance. Now I'm going to do plus or minus. So I'm going to do the plus for what? I'll do the plus for available in bank only. Make sure that the remark, whatever you have written, you are doing the same thing, because we'll be writing the formula where this remark is very important. And what I'll be doing, I'll do minus for what? Available in ERP only, because I need to subtract this. I'll do plus or minus because we are not sure whether it is excess or lower. So I'll do available in both with the differences. I'll not take the reconciled because it is properly reconciled. Now let me take balance as per bank. Now this must be the sum of all these four values. Now let me take this, maybe with a border of this. This must be matched with, now I'm going to take a small check here. This minus my bank balance must be 0. But as of now, it's 33,330 because it's a reconciled item. Now I need to fill the values here. How to fill the values here? Simple. I'm going to use a simple function called SUMIF. I think this is the first time in the entire session of today I'm writing a formula. Equal to sum if. This is a sum function, if function combination. Sum does the addition, if give a condition. So based on a condition, addition will happen. Sum if works based on a criteria. The meaning is, Excel, you please look into this column. That's what the instruction I'm trying to give it to the Excel. Let me click F4. F4 is the shortcut to give the dollar symbols for this, comma. What is the criteria? In this column, look for this, comma. Then total values in this column. Now I need to give the dollars because if I copy and paste, that should not change. Enter, copy and paste, just change the format to the comma format. Check it out, my check is absolutely 0. How simple of doing this reconciliation? If I make a methodology like this, next time onwards when we do any assignment where two reconciliation, two data sources are there, the same methodology I can adopt. I think my job is very simple. Okay, so in this case, let me give you the features I have used. I have used the features called consolidate. Consolidate. and I used a filter. I used a sum if function. So I used the function sum if, sorry, sum if. Sum if is having three arguments. First argument is where you are looking. Second argument is in which column what you are looking. Third argument is what you want to get as a sum. That's all. Let me save this file. Let me close this. Let's go into the next feature, flash fill. I don't know whether I copied this or not. But before going into the flash fill, let me go to console 3 data sets. Friends, what you are going to do in this case? In this case, I have three data sources, three data sets. First data set is having name CGST, SGST, IGST. Don't go into the technicality that why CGST and IGST is different. I'm not a tax consultant, GST consultant, so I'm not that great with respect to the technical things. This is just a random numbers I have taken. But just as a question, I have kept here as a case study. So what is the problem in this data? Can anyone tell? It's very simple. The data is not into the same order everywhere. Here CGST is the first column, here last column, here middle column, and so on. But I want to sum all these together. Then what I need to do, if you want to consolidate this data, first you need to put all the tabs into the proper order, all the data sets into proper order. But thanks to my consolidate feature, I need not to do that because it does automatically at the back end. Now let's go to the data, let's go to consolidate. Just now I explained you the consolidate. Let me add this data in the memory. Let me add this data into the memory. Let me add this data also into the memory. Let me click the top row left column. Excel look into the all three left columns. It will keep unique values one below other. Excuse me. Excel look for all three top rows. It will take the unique values. Wherever A is matching with CGST, A is matching with CGST, all those values it will consider. This is what your final total. I know that many people are having a doubt whether this is correct or wrong. Don't worry, I can even read your minds. Let me cross check. So A is 949, A CGST is 462, A CGST is 494, A CGST is 736. If you check it out, the sum here, it's 2641, exactly 2641. Let me give you one important trick or tip for you to learn the Excel. If you want to learn the Excel, you need to first trust the Excel. When you write the formula, you need to trust your formula. Excel will never go wrong. Many times, you know, what is our habit? When something goes wrong, we tell that even to our senior or maybe our junior or anyone that my Excel is not working. Your Excel will always work. Somewhere you went wrong. So let us all trust Excel. So I'm sure Excel trusts you back and it's going to work in your formulas. So this is at many places consolidate helps. Even in the bank audit, consolidate feature helps. You know where? When I want to convert my account statement, that means nothing but the bank statement. If I want to convert into the calendar format, consolidate is something which is very much helpful to you. So let me just say, this is just as an example I would like to cover. So now let's look into the flash fill. In fact, I forget to take the, let me take the case study of the flash fill. I forget to copy paste. Just give me 1 second. Excuse me. Let me paste here. Yeah, I'm sure you might have by this time you might have worked with the flash fill, but I feel there is a lot of relevance of this feature. Friends, every time when Excel updates to the next version, it excites especially me because every day I spend at least 1 hour time into the Excel or different tools. Every time I eagerly wait for Excel update. It's like whoever the fan of Apple, when new version of the phone is coming, how excitement they're having. For me, the excitement is when I know that tomorrow they're going to upgrade the Excel. I'll be more happiest person, and in fact, I have a lot of excitement before the day. So every year they introduce a lot of things, especially from 2013. Excel is no more a Excel's flat table application. Excel is more of, if you ask me, a small inbuilt artificial intelligence. There are many things which can support the same fact. It started from 2013 with the flash fill feature. It is an intelligence. It can understand your answer. It stores in the memory what you are looking for the next answer. When you're trying to type the next answer, it tells you that Mr. Sharon, wait, I think I am correct. I think you're trying to get the first name out of this name. So do you want me to help you to fill the remaining values? If you click enter, your answer is done. Flashfill introduced in 2013 version. Flashfill is a small artificial intelligence built in MS Excel. There are 4 different ways through which you can get the flashfill. Autofill options, flashfill, ribbon menu, home tab, editing group. This is a flashfill. Here you can, sorry. Yeah, here you can find the flashfill, or else go to the data tab. Here also you can find the flashfill, or else control plus E is the shortcut. Now I've taken a couple of names. Now I want to get Margaret. I am extracting the first name. When I start typing Mike, it is giving me the preview that Mr. Sharon, it seems you're trying to take everything before the space. Is it correct? Yes, enter. Now I'm trying to take Rusk. Then I'm trying to take some other names. If I enter, it's going to give, or else you can even confuse Excel, no problem. Excel will not confuse. Margaret. When I am trying to take last name, first name, immediately it is giving me the answer. Or else when I'm trying to take W, when I'm trying to take A, see, now Excel is not previewing. Why? It is thinking, because at the back end, more than one pattern is there, with having almost the same similarity, because you have taken only one character, what it can derive out of the one character. So when I forcibly apply the flash fill, either by using a control E or clicking this, out of the pattern stored in the Excel memory, whatever the pattern which is having much score, that result will appear here. Let me click this. Everything is correct. So my point is, don't just give one answer and wait for the result. At least give 2 to 3 answers, so that Excel machine learning concept is exactly the same, right? When you start using the Google Assistant on the first day, when you are using the Google Assistant today, I'm sure your Google Assistant must be a lot of experienced. In fact, in my case, I experienced the same. In fact, my daughter also, nighttime, she is 2.5 years old, girl. She also speaks with Google Assistant. First time when she is, saying to the Google Assistant, "Oh baby song," it did not understand, because her voice is, because she is a child, is little having lot of waves difference, and that terminology of radiation related difference. But when she's starting and speaking now, Google Assistant exactly giving the song what she is looking for. There is one of the famous song in here in Tollywood, "Oh Baby." That means your Google Assistant is remembering whatever the things you're trying to keep. That is what the concept of learning. Machine itself is learning at the back end. Even in the case of flash fill, when you give more than one item, then it is trying to understand very thick pattern, and finally it will consolidate whatever the highest percentage of probability, and it's going to give you as a result. Okay, so let me go here. Let me take the, even it can give you the format also properly. Let's take G202 50555, and I want last one must be 0166, because it remembers this pattern. Now when I'm trying to take, it is giving me the same pattern. Or else you take, let me take 5550166. Let's take 5550166. Now if I take 555, it understood that you are not taking the first part of the data. Not only this, it works even for date of birth. This is in the format of YYYY, DD, and MM. Now let me take 03, sorry. Yeah, let me take 1103 1985. Now, when I am trying to take the next one, unfortunately, it is not giving me any preview. No problem. Then you can simply click this button. It understood the pattern and it has given. This is classic. This is the combination of text and number. I want to extract the number part out of this. 5549. For your information, number is not exactly into the same position. Now, this is 85. See, it understood that I'm trying to extract the numbers and it kept everything. Or else I want to take the last part of the After the number, I want to consider everything. LSF, when I'm trying to take SEA, just take it out. That's the beauty of flash fill. Earlier, if flash fill is not there, to extract the last name, you may need to write very big formula. Your formula must be right, like right function, comma. To extract the rest, bigger function you need to write. Let me tell you what is the function. So you are going to write the function called len. Then you are going to keep the find function with underscore. Then you are going to use the substitute function. Then in that, wherever the space, I'm going to put with underscore. I'll substitute with the space, second space, then close the substitute, close the find function, close the right function. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is minus. Check it out. Otherwise, you need to write this much great formula to get the result of last name. Thanks to Excel. Now my job is much more simpler. Okay, you can use flash fill in many places. Wherever you wanna extract the data, combine the data, join the data, maybe concatenate. Flash fill is one of the beautiful features. Without a formula, it can work. Let me save this and close this file. Now let us look into the important aspect is the protection. It will take at least 10 to 15 minutes time, then we'll go for question and answer. Basically, your Excel is having 3 types of protection. One is protection of workbook. The other one is protection of worksheet. The other one is protection of cells. Protection of cells in the worksheet. Let's look into the first one first. First is first. What is the meaning of protection of workbook? First of all, this protection scope is entire file. That means user cannot open until enters the correct password. Right? But to give the protection, what do you need to do? It's very simple. I can go to the file tab. I can go to the info section. I can go to the protect password, protect workbook drop down. In that, I'm going to select the encrypt with password. Then it will ask for the password, then enter the password, confirm the password. Or else, there is one more way you can give the password. While you save the file as, you can just take F12. F12 is the shortcut to save the file as. Save as. You will find a tools group. In the tools, you are finding an option, general options. General options. In that, you will find one more command called password file to open. Okay, file to open. Then there you enter the password. These are the 2 ways through which you can give the password. Let me go to the first method. Let's go to the file tab. Let's go to info section. Let's go to protect workbook. Let's go to encrypt with password. Give the password. Enter. Confirm the password. Now let me save this file. As I told you, while you save as, there is a tools group. There is general options. In that, password to open. Already there is a password because this file is already having a password. Either you can give the password here or you can go to the file tab and give the password. Now let me save this file as protection. My dear friends, let me tell you the most important part of the protection is you need to remember the password. Because once you forget, gone. Okay. Then learning the concept, remembering the password is very important. Let me save this file and close it. Let me open this protection. It's asking for the password. Let me enter the password. Done. You need to remove the password. Same method. Go to the file tab. Go to the info section. Go here. Encrypt with password. You can remove this. Enter. Go back. Save this. Close it. Now when you're trying to open, it will not ask for any password because it's removed. This is the protection of workbook. Very simple concept. Now, what is the meaning of this? Protection of worksheet. This scope is all the sheets in the workbook. That means what happened? Once protected, user cannot do the structural changes to the workbook. I know your next question is, Sharon, what do you mean by the structural changes? Structural changes means user cannot do anything with respect to sheet. I know the follow-up question, what maximum user can do with respect to sheet? The following are restricted in case of protection. What is that? User cannot insert the sheet, user cannot delete the sheet, user cannot hide the sheet, user cannot unhide the sheet, user cannot move the sheet, user cannot copy the sheet, user cannot rename the sheet, user cannot change the tab color. These 8 activities are not allowed if you give the password for the worksheets. So where you can find this feature, you can go to the review tab, just go to the review tab in the ribbon menu. In the protect group, you can find protect workbook. Don't confuse. Protect workbook means files in the workbook. Protect workbook means sheets in the workbook. Now let's go to the review tab. Protect group. This is what a group we call. Protect workbook. For the structure, it's going to protect. Let me click OK. Confirm the password. Now what happened? Can I do anything here? Of course, because I did not give the password for the cells, but I have given password for the sheets. What cannot do? You cannot try to insert the sheet. You cannot try to delete the sheet. You cannot try to format the sheet with a hide the sheet. You cannot unhide the sheet. Rename, move or copy, tab color, nothing. You cannot do anything with respect to sheet. Saran, generally we have an habit of right click here, even that. Okay. Everywhere the features got restricted because I asked Excel to stop doing the structural changes. The third one is very important. Let me take the protection of cells in the workbook. So what is the meaning of this? But that means I am protecting the cells. To understand this concept, you need to learn about 3 very important words: locked cell, unlocked cell. The other one is protected cell, and 4th one is hidden cell, right? So what is the meaning of locked cell? By default, every cell is a locked cell. How do you know that? Very simple, right click, format cell. If I go to the protection, locked everywhere, not only this cell. If you want to go to here, go to format cells, locked. Every cell in your Excel is a locked cell. But if it is locked, I'm going and writing something, right? Yes, in the locked cell, you can do whatever you want. Only you cannot do if it is protected, right? So that means, let me take these 2 cells. Let me give this color just for the identification. These 2 are also locked, right? Yes. Let me untick this. Let me click OK. Now, how many types of cells are there? 2 types of cells are there in this sheet. Except these 2 cells, every cell is a locked cell. But why there is a concept of locked and unlocked? It is for the Excel to understand which cells Excel has to give the password, for which cells Excel should not give the password. Simple. Now, let me go to the review tab. Let me go to protect sheet. Now, let me give the password, confirm the password. Now, can you tell me which cells probably protected? Every cell got protected except these 2 cells. Why? Because these 2 are unlocked. You cannot protect the unlocked cells. I can enter 500, I can enter 600, possible, but you cannot. You can come to this cell. You cannot enter anything here because it's a locked cell and it's a protected cell. I cannot enter anything. That is the meaning of the protected cell. You can ask the question, Sharon, I want to give the access for every cell except these 2 cells. I don't want user to change these 2 cells. That means this is the other way around. Now what do you need to do? Select the entire sheet. Go to the product. Go to the format cells. Untick. Now every cell is a unlocked cell. Now select these 2 cells. Go to the format cells. Lock. Now if I go to the product sheet, give the password, confirm the password. Now everywhere you can do whatever you want. But can I do something here? No, because it's a locked, since locked is a protected. As simple as it. Very recently, they have given an icon like a lock here because user can immediately understand by looking into the sheet whether a sheet is locked or not. For your information, there the scope of the protection in this case is only one sheet. You cannot protect all the cells in all the sheets at a time. Okay, this is what the protection of cells in the worksheet. Very simple. Now let me close this. Yeah. Okay, so I think 9 things we have covered, very elaborate. We can see, Mama, can we go for question and answer?
Yes, sure. Jalpa will share her screen. She has listed down the questions. So you please go one by one questions from the Jalpa. Jalpa?
Yes, I'll do that. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have first question. I do not see the developer option in my Excel menu. Why is that?
Very good. Can I share my screen now?
Yeah. Or might be you can share your screen. I can read out the questions for you.
Yeah, no problem.
You have to
Yeah, let me go
stop
to,
sharing first. Yeah.
yeah. So let me go to my Excel. Yeah, but I actually forget it's my mistake. Friend, by default, developer tab may not come here. You need to go to the options. You should go to the customize ribbon menu, and here probably that may be unticked. Just see this. If I check, even now it's not. I think from 2010 version, this feature is there. If it is 2007, then here itself in the general, you may be having one more option called developer. Then you can enable that. So mine is actually Office 365. So I can just enable this. Okay, you can just see it, sir, wherever it is. Maybe that must be either in the general here, okay, or else that must be into the custom. I can just enable this. Let me take this and click OK. It must come. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Second question is request you to share. Please share how to extract data from Tally to Excel directly.
We can use the Odbc basically. So it takes little time, but still I'll try. So let me take my Tally. But whoever looking this for the first time, they may not even understand. But okay, I can give you in a nutshell how it happens. Friends, then let me just close this. Okay, let me close my Tally. This is the Tally. Now you can select any of the company. Let me just go to the company. I want to take the company which I have taken yesterday in a seminar, just for the example sake. Now let's take this tools. Now let's take the tally data. Control C. Now let's put Control V. Enter. Let me enter. You can go to Configure F12. You can go to Advanced Configuration. Then you can make this as a S. Enable ODBC server. Yes. You make sure that this is not a client. This is either both or server. Once you get that, here you can find at the bottom gateway, your name, and client server ODBC. The advantage of this is or else if yours is a maybe 2010 version or 2013, you can just select from Microsoft Query. Even I can take from Microsoft Query. Now it has taken the database files. It's not finding Tally related automatically. So what I do, I'll go here. I'll go to other sources. I'll go to ODBC. Now once I click here, I can find all the ODBC files. Now let me click ODBC files. Yeah, let me click OK. Now I should find my Tally here. Now let's go to default or custom. So let me just connect. Now I'm going to find all the ODBCs in this computer which are open. So I can find one ODBC something C drive. Oops. Okay, it's not activating. 1 second. Just give me 1 second. This is both as this is all are fine. Now you can just methodology is exactly same. This is in fact even yesterday we have taken. Let's take the Odbc files. Fine. Let's take okay. Let this go. Okay, so let's tell you the sequence. This is the methodology. It will take you there. Then it's going to show you all the, yeah, let's take from here if possible. Here also I'm not finding that. Once you click OK, it's going to show you all the tables in your tally. Then, as you know, through the ODBC, you can only get only the masters. You cannot get the daybook or anything. For which, if you want to extract through the into the Excel directly, you need to have a TDL. In fact, very few TDLs are there in the market which can take the tally data. The problem with the exporting of the tally data is by default, the problem of the exporting of the tally data is the format is not very great. If you look into the tally daybook, once you download, the formatting is very clumsy. You cannot make it into a proper structured way. For which we need to have go for a TDL, but you can get the information from the tally only to understand the closing balances, opening balances of the masters. Okay, so that is what, ma'am. We can, yeah, go into the next. This is the navigation. We were asked the question, so you can go to the other things. Either you can take Microsoft Query or you can take Odbc. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next question is the other way around. How to transfer data from Excel to Tally in a customized way?
For which a lot of TDLs are there. See, Tally is a proprietary programming. So they have given a Tally developer server separately. Whoever know the language, if I want to make an automation into my Excel, how I know the VBA, and I can write a program on my own. If someone knows the Tally definition language, they can make a small program and they can get it. In fact, if you go to the shop, Tally shop, here hundreds of TDLs are available. You can just search for whatever the TDL which is required. Very small cost, 850 rupees. You need to just have a patience to look into each and everything. Just look into the Google whether this is a real correct feature for your requirement. Then you can just buy it. One time you can buy it and this entirely does your work. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There is one request to share the income tax section Excel sheet. So
I already covered, but for them and for their information, so let me just go to the options. Let me go to advanced. Now let me come down. There is a edit custom list here. There are a bunch of sections are here, all the sections. But friends, one information I forget to mention, because in Excel, not only just knowing the power, you should also know the limitation. Just because this feature is there, you don't keep every sections. Make sure that whatever relevant for you, because to put everything together, there is an import option. But to delete everything together, there is no option. You need to delete manually one after another. So if I enter 500 items, you need to delete 500 times. So for which I made a small macro here. I have kept my own macro, clear the custom list. Now, if I go here, if I go to options, if I go to advanced, let me come down, edit custom list. Now, nothing is there. Now, what you need to do, if you have the income tax related information, now let's go back to my folder. I'm explaining again this one. In fact, I've explained earlier. So let's go to, I'm sorry, yeah, custom list. Let this open. So this is the IT Act. Let me select this data. Now let's go to the file tab. Let's go to options. Let's go to advanced. Now let me come down, edit custom list. You can import this data. Okay, you can just click import. Every row I want as a list. Let me click OK. Let me click OK. Now let me just click OK finally. Now whatever the section you want, I want to know the section 294 anywhere outside. Just put the section 294 and drag it, you will get to know. Or if I want to know section IA iPhone section iPhone 128. Now you can simply drag it, you can get it. Okay, it is omitted. Or else I can have IA iPhone section iPhone 192. You can just simply drag this. Okay, so that's
okay. Next question is, would the sheet require an editor access for anyone who has the link for this get data from web to work?
Sorry, if you don't mind, can you repeat? I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Would the sheet require an editor access for anyone who has the link?
I think he's talking about the Google
Yeah.
link. Yeah, if that is the case, they must need to have the Google link, correct? So that's the reason we don't give it to the outside, right? I only take for my Excel. That's not a public link. If you give that link to anyone, anyone can see the data.
Okay. Next question is pivot table and Vlookup, if you can explain briefly.
Okay, great. In fact, for Vlookup, I made an example also. First, I'll explain Vlookup, ma'am, then I will go into the pivot table. Vlookup is something, I think, one of the functions, even as Microsoft, widely used function. Anyway, now after Xlookup came, there is no meaning of Vlookup. Vlookup is something just get the information from master data to the normal sample, right? Generally, it's a very common thing in our day-to-day work, maybe in audit or anywhere. We have somewhere the master data. I need to get sample out of it. If I want to know the product subcategory for product 4, I generally do Control C. I'll select this column, Control V, wherever it is there, the respective value, I'll copy and I'll paste it. Instead, I can go for a beautiful concept called Vlookup, equal to Vlookup. It looks for a value in the leftmost column of the table. That means it looks for a value. First parameter, I need to provide the value. Second parameter, table. So in this case, my first parameter is lookup value. That's nothing but this, comma. Friends, if you want to learn the functions in the best way, first we need to understand the syntax. Before even understanding the syntax, you must understand what is the objective of the function. Every function having its own objective. For looking into the objective, we must be in a position to know what may be the parameters.
Really?
In this case, lookup value is this one because I want to look this value. Not only giving this is sufficient for the Excel because Excel cannot go anywhere to look for this value. You should tell to the Excel where it has to look this value. It has to look this value into this table. This table, I don't want it to go down. So I have to give a dollar symbol for this. Let me select the F4. F4 is to give the dollar symbol, comma. Now you have just given two parameters to the Excel. What it has to look, where it has to look. Now Excel is looking for this information. It found this row. Now what it has to do after it found the row. Now you should tell to the Excel. Now Excel, out of the row you found, third column you please get me as an answer. Because in this table there are 3 columns are there. Now Excel takes this value. It look into the leftmost column, then it will find the value. It extracts this entire row to outside. Now, whenever I ask Excel in this row, third value I'm going to get. That means this value I'm going to extract. Fourth argument is optional. How do you know that? For this is mandatory because there is no square bracket. This is mandatory because there is no square bracket. This is mandatory. But this is optional because range lookup you can find in the square bracket. Optional means I need to understand if I ignore what will happen, if I consider what will happen. If you ignore, by default, it takes the approximate match. But in this case, I cannot approximately match for product 4 because it's a text. It will never find like if you are looking for a Saran, if Saran is not available, Saranya, no, it will not work because Excel doesn't know Saran and Saranya both are having approximate match. So in the same way, in this case, I cannot look for approximate match. Let's go for exact match. Either you can write false or you can put even 0 because as per the Excel Boolean value, true means 1, false means 0. Let me close it. Now it is doing a small operation at the back end. It is quickly taking this value, looking into the leftmost column of the table, then the respective third column value it is extracting. Let me copy and paste. Because this value is not available. Now you just change this instead of product 7 to product 8, value will change. Now, if I want to get the product subcategory, everything is same. I simply, everything is, let me Control C. Now let me put Control V. Everything is same. Let me put just 2, enter. Because now I need to get the product category. But friends, your VLOOKUP has 2 limitations. What are they? The value we are looking for must be into the leftmost column all the time. The second limitation, in case of duplicates, VLOOKUP always considers first value. Second limitation, even today is there, even in the X lookup function, but this limitation is gone. Okay, we got the solution for this. Now the point which I'm trying to tell you is, have a look everyone. Now let's say this is somewhere here. Okay. Now this is what my data. Now your VLOOKUP will not work because now I cannot write a VLOOKUP function here. VLOOKUP, look for this value where within this table, get me the second column value as an answer. You got it. And why? Because the value you are looking for is not in the leftmost column. That is the problem with the VLOOKUP function. Now, bye-bye VLOOKUP. Let's welcome X Lookup. X Lookup is there in 2019 version and Office 365. In the X Lookup function, only difference the VLOOKUP and X Lookup is, in the VLOOKUP you are taking a table. In the X Lookup, instead of asking for a table, it is asking you 2 columns. What is the lookup column? What is the return column? Now let's take the lookup value, this one, comma. What is the lookup array? In which column you need to look for? I want to look into this column. Now let me put F4, comma. What is the return column? Now this is what the return I want. Office product subcategory. Sorry, let me put F4. Yeah, product subcategory. Now F4. Now, if it is not found, because it's very common in the VLOOKUP function, every time may not be there the value what we are looking for. So if that is the case, normally we have any error. In XLOOKUP, they got a solution even for any. In case of not available, let me have a not available text. Now, do you want an exact match? Yes. Let me double click this, close bracket, enter, copy and paste. See it? But this is not possible through the VLOOKUP function because VLOOKUP always looks into the left side. The only extra argument the XLOOKUP is having, see, it's very simple. VLOOKUP is taking like this, a small table, whereas XLOOKUP is dividing this table separately and this table separately. So when these 2 tables are separate, whether it is left side or right side, it least bother. When this is combined, there is a lot of relevance whether it is left side or right side. Exactly. Okay, so this is the VLOOKUP function and XLOOKUP function. Pivot table, it takes a little time because it's not a small concept, ma'am. Can we go ahead? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will take it some other time.
Yeah, that's fine. We can take
Sorry?
it some other time.
I don't have any problem, but as long as you guys are okay, I can even take 10 minutes. Okay, we can look into the other question based on the time.
Yeah.
Then, based on the time, then we will come back to this question.
Yes, that's great.
Okay, related to VLOOKUP only, can VLOOKUP work in 2 different sheets or should we use HLOOKUP?
No, the very difference between VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is, okay, he's asking the difference between VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP or XLOOKUP.
So the question is, can VLOOKUP work in 2 different sheets?
Yes.
So
yeah, VLOOKUP
is a better formula or HLOOKUP is the better formula?
Okay, VLOOKUP can even work from the other sheets also. For example, if this data is now, or else it's already here. Now, let me take this data into the other sheet. Let me paste the values here. I can still get from the other sheet. There is no problem. VLOOKUP, look for this value, go to this sheet, take this entire data. Sorry, take this entire data, get me the second column value as an answer. Still, I get my answer. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, oops, 1 second. I mistakenly taken this actually. This is wrong. It's okay. Okay. So even the lookup value is in different Excel at different sheet. Even the master data is into different sheet. Still VLOOKUP works. Not only this, I have taken a new Excel file. Still your VLOOKUP works. Let me copy this and paste here. Let me write VLOOKUP, look for this value. I need to go to the other Excel. Now let me go to this Excel file. Now let me select this entire data, F4, comma, 0. I'm sorry, second column I want to get as an answer, 0, enter, copy and paste. Still it works. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next question is how to convert PDF to Excel.
PDF to Excel, earlier we did not have any feature like that. But again, we all need to thank Excel. Very recently, in the month of June 20th, if I'm not wrong the date correctly, June 20th, they have introduced the source as a PDF. Do you remember? I don't know how many of you applied for a Canara Bank audit, a concurrent audit. They have given the list of the branches. These are all of the list of the branches recently Canara Bank has given. The problem with this list of the 192 pages is the branches are scattered from the same state also. It is very difficult for the members to look into their nearby branches and so on by using a Control F. At that point of time, I converted this entirely into the Excel and I have kept into my website and I shared to all the members. Now let us see how to convert this PDF into the Excel. I can simply go here, go to here. Now from file, PDF. Now I want to take the PDF of that. So let's go here, list of branches. It's trying to read the entire PDF and it's trying to load the tables available in the PDF. Let me tell you, you cannot scan a copy of the PDF and upload here because this is not the feature of OCR, object or character reading. This is the feature of getting the tables information into my Excel. It's trying to load all the tables. Have a patience for another 10-15 seconds. Yeah, all the tables got loaded. Now I want all these tables to be loaded at a time. So simply right click and you can transform this data. It will take to the Power Query. I'm going to expand this table. Now I don't want any of these columns because each table appeared inside of Word data. Check out each table data is here. Now let me expand this. I want to expand all the columns. Now let me you can remove the top 2 rows. Let me remove top 2 rows. Now let me take you the numbers. Now I want to remove bottom. Oh, sorry, I have mistaken. Now this is a transformation. See, this basically how much time you spend, you will get that much expert. So I can just make this as a headers, the first one. Then I can remove all the null columns. Simply you can just remove the columns wherever the empties are there. Let me remove the blank rows. Okay, now let me just close and load the data into Excel. The entire PDF data appended one to all the pages and appearing here. The beauty of Power Query is later when you go and keep a different PDF file here with the same name, when you refresh it will pick up that PDF file and it will get everything here. Now I can simply put here and I can remove my all the blank rows and it's going to give. That's all. Yes, ma'am. That is possible.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is in bank statement in Excel format figure cannot use a number. That is, we have F2 and enter then format as number automatically. Any solution for that?
My memory is very weak. If you don't mind, can you repeat the question again?
I did not get this question either.
I think his question, okay.
Actually,
I think his
in the
question
chat
is
box you
sometimes
can
the
show
number
him.
will not appear as a number that is into the text format. Is it? Okay, in the meanwhile, let him put a question elaborately. You can go into the next question.
So we'll go to next question. How to use JSON file downloaded from GST site in Excel. I had used from the data tab, but it does not work.
Yeah, it's not working because you need to have schemas related of JSON. Even I tried. Now, even I am also doing R&D because it will take the file, but there is a problem with the parsing. So as of now, even I don't have a solution, especially the GST files is not working. I tried with other JSON files, not relating to GST. It has worked absolutely, but we need to look into that. I'm sure.
Okay. Next question is, does Sx Lookup work if data is from another Excel file like Vlookup?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I said. Even instead of VLOOKUP, you can even use the X lookup equal to X, sorry, equal to X lookup. Look for this value. Now let me go to the other Excel file. Now I can go here. Now the value which I'm looking is into this column, comma, return array. That means I want to get this as an answer, comma. Now if it is not found, I want my answer must be not available. Then comma, I want to look for an exact match, close bracket. One more beautiful thing of the XLOOKUP is, in the VLOOKUP function, by default, it's an approximate match. But in the XLOOKUP function, by default, it's an exact match, because most of the time people look for the exact match than the approximate match. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the last question. Facing problem in drop-down through data validation. If we keep master data in different sheet, is there any solution for that?
You will not find any problem. Even I can go to the data here. You should not ideally, I need to see the file if the problem occurs. So this is the data validation. I can go to the list of the values. I can have the data validation, maybe the values which are into, let's go to the other Excel file. I can go here. I can just take this data, or else maybe let me take this data, enter. Let me click OK. Now you can find, even you can get from the other Excel files. Exactly, I need to look into the error, what is getting, probably I can get better.
Okay, so we are done with the questions.
That's
Okay.
great.
There is one hand raised. Can we take it?
There's one more question?
I think, yeah, last question.
Oh, no worries. Go ahead.
Pinky, please co-host to Pinky. Please make co-host to Pinky and ask her. Let her ask what she want to ask.
Sorry, ma'am, it was by mistake.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharanji, for a wonderful interactive session. The session is very informative. You made us explore the world of Excel. Excellent session. I now request CA Jalpa Verma to present vote of thanks.
Thank you, Seemaji, for giving me this opportunity. It was great listening to Sharanji. He has explained everything, every function in so much detail that we can actually use the functions in our practical life. And there were no formulas used majorly. Like he said, it's just clicking the buttons, which can make our life very easy. So on behalf of JB Nagar Study Circle, I propose a hearty vote of thanks to CA Saran Kumarji. Thank you so much.